Hey guys, it's Tina and I am back, and I am here with a very exciting video for you guys today. If you follow me on Instagram, which if you aren't, I'm very upset because I thought we were friends. Why aren't you following me on Instagram? It's the fancy face. I'll leave the link below. You know, just go ahead and do that. But if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know I was lucky enough to get the PR package with the brand new Becca times Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop collection that recently debuted, and they sent out a bunch of PR packages, and there was even a New York event with a bunch of beauty bloggers. It's just a really exciting time in the beauty blogosphere. It's exciting to see one of our own kind of make it, because Jaclyn Hill, has kind of exploded on the scene. She's taken over. She's the queen of YouTube, let's be honest. Here's how far Jaclyn Hill reaches. I was doing my laser hair removal treatment a couple of weeks ago, and the girl that was doing my treatment was telling me about their new offering, the Cool Sculpting, and she said she did it, she got it done. She actually sat through 4 hours of it, but she was fine because she was watching YouTube videos and all that. I'm like, yes, YouTube. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, who's your favorite? And right out the gate she said Jaclyn Hill, and I'm like, everybody loves Jaclyn Hill. No matter what your feelings are towards her, you have to give the girl props. She really exploded with her Champagne Pop highlighter with Becca, and then she now has this new collection out which features a face palette, an eyeshadow palette, a liquid illuminator, and of course her highlighter, her pressed highlighter, and now they have the poured version. Now these 3 items, so the pressed version, the poured version, which is a cream to powder formula, and the liquid version, are now permanent to the collection, because Champagne Pop was supposed to be limited edition, but it actually made it to the permanent lineup for Becca. And these 2 items, the eyeshadow palette and the face palette, which features 2 highlighters, Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop, which is a new highlighter, and 3 brand new blushes. One is more of a bronzer matte finish, one is a shimmery finish, and then one is definitely like a more satin finish. This palette here, $52, and then the eyeshadow palette, which features 5 eyeshadows. The one in Champagne Toast, which is this bronzy one, is the one that Jaclyn Hill curated herself, and then the other 4 shades Becca kind of developed to go along with Champagne Toast. So these 2 palettes, this one is $40. These 2 palettes are limited edition, and they will debut in store on June 16th. They were available online, but a bunch of the products sold out. You can still get the pressed, the poured, and the liquid, of course, but those are permanent. But if you wanted to get your hands on the face palette or the eye palette, then you'll have to wait for the relaunch online and in store June 16th. So keep your eye out if you're interested in these products. And long introduction over, I am going to demonstrate these products. I am wearing the eyeshadows on my eyes right now, as well as the Prosecco Pop and the blush. I just use a bunch of the face products and the eyeshadow palette. So if you want to see how these perform on my skin tone, then stay tuned, and I will talk to you soon.
Hey there guys! So for this get ready with me video, I'm going to start out with my brows already filled in, and then next I will go in with my MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour Extend Eye Base. This is just an eyeshadow primer that's going to give our eyeshadow something to stick to, as well as seal in the oils in our lids so I won't have creasing throughout wear of these eyeshadows. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. This is the shade Dark Neutral, and I'm just going to apply that directly beneath my brows. And this is going to help clean up the shape as well as act as a highlight. And I'm going to grab my Anastasia Beverly Hills number 18 concealer brush. And this is just a really defined shape, and it's going to help us to outline the edges of the brow and really sharpen up the underside of the brow and create a nice crisp line. And I'm just using this brush again just to create a sharper shape to the brows. And I'm just blending out the edges also with that brush. And then I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease brush to further blend out the excess product. And I'm just going to blend it down on my lid area, and it's going to create somewhat of an eyeshadow base as well. And then I'm grabbing a neutral blending shade. This is my M650 Cookie from Makeup Forever. And I'm just going to grab that on a large blending brush and buff this in my crease. This is a IT Cosmetics all over shadow brush from their Live Beautifully collection, and I'm just going to buff that in my crease area, and this is going to act as our blend in and transition shade. So any matte skin tone color that you're used to using for your blend in shade, that's what you would use right now. Since there's no true blend in shade in the eyeshadow palette, I'm using my own specific blend in shade that I always use. And now I'm going in with the Becca times Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette, and I'm grabbing the shade Champagne Toast, which is the shade that Jaclyn Hill created. It's a golden light bronzy shade. I'm going to apply that directly on my lid area, and that's just going to form the base of our eyeshadow look. And even though I'm using a stiff brush from Kat Von D, it didn't quite pick up the color intensity that I wanted, or it didn't make it as metallic as I wanted. So I just grabbed my Smashbox primer water and dampened my brush a little bit and tapped it into the eyeshadow, and now it's very frosted, very metallic. It's given me that nice intense sheen that I wanted from this shade. Now I'm just going to apply that just on my lid space and make sure that I kind of blend out the edges of it, but I'm going to go in with a fresh blend-in brush. This is a clean one. It's the J5523 brush from Hakuhodo, and I'm just going to go around the edges of that color now just to make sure that we blend out the harsh lines so we don't leave a harsh look on our lids and in the crease area. This is going to just smooth out the color and make it look a little bit more seamless and a little bit more effortless. Then I'm grabbing the matte kind of rosy neutral shade in the palette. This is the shade Cordial, and I'm just going to grab it on the blend-in brush and go around the edges of the color in the crease area. So I'm just going very lightly around the lid shade, and this again will help to blend out the edges as well as give us a nice transition in the crease area. So it's adding a little bit of depth, but not too much. It's kind of acting as a secondary transition shade. Now I'm going to grab the shade Cognac, which is a more warm-toned caramelly brown shade, and buff that in the outer lid area. And this is just creating a little bit more depth. As you can see, we're building up the color from light to dark. So I'm just building up a little bit of dimension using the same buffing brush that we were using before, just to create a little bit more shading in the crease. And then I'm going to grab a smaller blend-in brush. This is the BJ142 brush from Hakuhodo with the shade Bordeaux, which is the dark matte brown from the palette. And I'm creating a C shape on my outer lid area. And this is just, again, building up dimension and creating depth. And this is just going to give us kind of a 3D effect to this look, and it will really bring attention to the eye. So you're not just one flat color, it's just building up more of a 3D effect, and it's almost a semi smoked out neutral eye as well. And I'm just going back and forth and building that color up and buffing it out as I go. And take your time with this part. You can just slowly build up the color to the desired intensity. Don't just go in all dark all at once. Just slowly build up the shade. And then I'm just going to go in with a clean blend-in brush and go around the edges to make sure we don't have any harsh lines left behind. Now I'm going to go in with the Champagne Toast shade again. Where we lost some of that intensity, I'm just going to apply a little bit more to my lid area. And you can see, just build up that color where the blend-in kind of took some of that away. And then make sure, of course, that you blend out the edges of the color so you remove any harshness from the eyeshadows. Now I'm going in with the shade Chardonnay, which is the very light, icy white gold shade. And I'm just going to pop that on my inner tear duct area. And that's just going to really bring interest and attention to the inner tear duct. And then make sure you blend out the edges of that color because you don't want it to be harsh, because it can look a little bit strange when the inner tear duct is a little bit too harsh or too intense. So make sure you blend it out. Now I'm going to start out with my face. I'm going in with my Golden Crocus Ageless Saffron Elixir from Korres. It is a anti-aging, lifting, firming, moisturizing, plumping, smoothing, and brightening serum. And I'm just going to apply this all over my skin. And you want to work fast with this because it is really fast absorbing. And it has micro shimmer in it. I don't know that it's shimmer or it's just by virtue of the product, but there's a little bit of shimmer that brightens and really illuminates the complexion, and I really like it, and it acts as a great base for my foundation. Today I'm using the Laura Mercier Candle Glow foundation in the shade Pecan, and I'm going to apply that all over my skin. And again, this serum is so fast absorbing that I could go right in with my foundation without any issues, and it blends over my skin really nicely and seamlessly and doesn't affect the foundation application at all, and it also didn't make me oily throughout the day. So I'm really enjoying this serum. It's a little bit pricey, so I'm going to keep testing it out and keep you updated. But so far, I've been using it every day because I just really like how it moisturizes my skin without leaving behind a oily or overly dewy finish. It just absorbs completely and leaves me hydrated without being too oily. So I've been really enjoying it. I'm just going to apply this foundation all over my skin, making sure I get around my eyebrows and just blend everything in. And then I'm going to go back in with my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer and just apply that directly under my eyes. And this shade is a very neutral shade that matches my complexion pretty well. And I'm just going to blend that out with my Beauty Blender. This is the Beauty Blender for blush. It's a smaller type, and I'm actually using it dry, and I prefer to use my Beauty Blender dry for concealer under my eye because it absorbs a lot of the excess moisture and just really helps to blend the concealer out without it getting creasy or crepey. And I'm going to go back to the eyes. I'm going to grab my Mirage eyeshadow from Makeup Geek, which is just a soft ivory color, and it has a bit of a sheen to it, but it's not overly frosty, so I really like it for highlights under my brow. I'm just going to pop that under my brow using my MAC 252 large shader brush, and then blend the edges out and blend it down on my brow bone. And again, I really like this color for a highlight, and I suggest everyone try this eyeshadow out. I think it's one of the better eyeshadows from Makeup Geek. And then I'm going in with a liquid eyeliner. This is the Sephora Long Lasting Eyeliner. It's a shade black. And I'm just going to apply that to my upper lash line. I'm going to create a very simple wing with this liner. And this liner has a felt tip. They also have a version with a brush tip. But what I like about this eyeliner is that it dries completely matte. So it's not going to leave behind a shine or a sheen. It's just a flat matte eyeliner. And I'm just going to create a very simple wing like I said. And then go ahead and repeat on the other eye. And it's tricky sometimes with winged eyeliner to keep them even, so sometimes you have to go back and build it up just to make sure the wings look pretty similar to each other. And then I'm going to go back to the eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to grab the dark brown shade Bordeaux on a MAC 242 small shader brush and apply this to my lower lash line, keeping close to the lower lashes, just to add a slight smoky effect to the lower lashes. But this guy is not as deep as I wanted it to be, so I went ahead and grabbed another shade, a deep dark brown shade. This is from Makeup Forever. It's the shade Black Gold, and it's ME624. And I'm just going to grab it on the same brush and apply it to my lower lash line just to buff that out and deepen it up and add a smoky effect. So just build that color up. Again, sticking close to the lower lashes, and this is going to give us a subtle smoky effect on that lower lash line area. And then to complete this smoky effect, I'm going in with my 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil from Urban Decay in the shade Perversion, which is just a matte black eyeliner pencil, and I'm applying that to my lower waterline to tie the look together and complete the smoky effect on the lower lash line. And then, of course, we have to go in with mascara, which is my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. And I'm just going to apply this to my upper lashes before we go in with our false eyelashes, because I feel like false eyelashes really set off this look. But of course, you can skip false eyelashes if you choose to. Just build up your mascara to your desired volume and intensity of your lashes. And then for my lower lashes, I'm going in with my MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. I'm just going to apply those directly to my lower lashes to really ensure that the lashes stick out against the bottom lash line area. Now I'm going to grab my lashes. These are the Vegas Nay with Eyelure, and these are the style Shining Star, and they're a nice full lash. And I really like the style, and I actually really like Eyelure lashes. So if you're looking for a good lash to try from the drugstore, these are great ones. And now to set my foundation in place, I'm going in with my Becca Mineral Powder. This is the shade Tobacco, and I'm just going to pounce that over my skin using my Tarte powder player brush to set everything in place and mattify my skin. This is not gonna mattify my skin completely. It's still gonna leave a very skin-like glow on my skin, if that makes sense. It's not a completely matte finish. It's gonna leave a very lifelike looking glow to my skin. And then I'm gonna grab some of that powder on the beauty blender again and go directly under my eyes to set that concealer in place. And I like this powder because it's finely milled, so it won't create crepiness under my eyes or make it too dry looking. Now we're going on to the contour. I'm grabbing the Becca Contour Duo. This is the pressed version, and I'm grabbing the contour shade on my Marc Jacobs The Shape brush, and I'm just going to apply that to the hollows of my cheeks to create some dimension and a little bit of shape to my skin where the foundation could have taken away all the dimension, and just blend it out. I went a little low on one side of my face with the contour color, but we're going to fix that later. I'm going to apply some of this also to my temples, again, just to create dimension to the skin where the foundation could have taken away all our dimension. Now for some fun stuff, we're grabbing the Becca x Jaclyn Hill Champagne Collection face palette, and I'm grabbing the blush from the palette. This is Pamplemoose, which is the mineral blush, and this one is a shimmery kind of reddened coral shade, and I'm just going to pounce that on my skin and blend it out using my Zoeva blush brush. And it's a beautiful blush, and it does show up beautifully on my skin and gives a subtle pop of color rather than being overwhelming, and you can really blend it in seamlessly to the skin. And this blush has a little bit of shimmer, but the shimmer doesn't really show up on the skin at all. It just gives a very natural finish to the skin. And I'm also going to grab the shade Amaretto, which is also a mineral blush, but this is more of a almost caramelly brown shade, again with a little bit of shimmer. And I'm going to use this as a subtle bronzer on my skin because of the shade, and I'm just going to pop it on the temples and even over the blush, just creating a 3 shape on my cheek line area. Again, this color is a neutral tone. It is a caramelly tone with a little bit of shimmer, so it can give a little bit of bronzing to my skin tone specifically. And now, of course, we're going to go in with the highlight, and I'm using the shade Prosecco Pop from the palette because I already have Champagne Pop, and I really didn't love it on my skin tone because it can come off a little bit too shimmery and icy. But this Prosecco Pop has a yellow gold undertone, and I'm popping it on the high points of my cheeks using my MAC brush, and this is just giving a very subtle glow to the skin, and I was very impressed with how subtle the glow is, and this brush is really helping to blend it in and give a soft highlight to the skin. And I am very happy with how this blended out. Considering that I like subtle highlights, this blended in really well, and I'm going to grab some of that also and put it on the center of the bridge of my nose and really blend it in. And I'm also going to grab some of the contour color from that Becca Contour Duo and apply it to the sides of my nose using my Kevyn Aucoin contour brush. And this is just going to add some dimension to our nose as well. And then really make sure that I blend out that highlight color because we don't want any over shimmery line on our nose at all. And then I'm going to set my brows using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel just to make sure those brows stay in place all day. Now moving on to lips, I'm going to grab a ColourPop lippy pencil. This is Poppin', and it's one of their Matte X finishes. And it's a bright fuchsia pink shade in an ultra matte finish. And I'm going to use this to outline my lips. I love this color. Can we discuss how beautiful this color is? You will see it in a second, but it's a beautiful shade on my darker skin, and it adds this really bright pop of color to the lips, but it's not too overwhelming where it looks too stark and too neon on my skin, which I really, really, really appreciate. And it applied well. It's very smooth, and it's not as uncomfortable as you would expect from an ultra matte. I'm going to top that off with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Rio liquid lipsticks. This is one of their newer summer shades, and it's again a bright neon fuchsia pink shade, and it matches this lip pencil perfectly, but honestly the way it layered up was not the best, so I would say just go in with the ColourPop lippy pencil instead all over. But I wanted to try this lip color out because I had it in my collection, but I haven't tried it yet. And it's a very beautiful color. It just applies sheerly, and you do have to layer it up to get that color intensity that you can just get from the lippy pencil alone. And that, guys, is going to finish up the look. And here are the eyes again up close. And I like how these colors perform, definitely, but they're not super unique. I don't find them that special. But this highlight, though, it's very subtle on my skin. The highlight is nice, it's subtle, it's natural looking on my skin tone, and I really love the result of it. And I love the lip color as well. And the overall look turned out great, and I'm loving the bright pop of color on the lips as well.
Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this get ready with me / tutorial / demonstration / first impressions kind of hybrid video from me. I really enjoyed putting together this look. It was really easy to create the look with the palette. It is a very simple look. It is something that you can probably create or recreate from products that you already have in your collection. If I'm honest, I don't think the eyeshadow palette is very unique. You can probably find cheaper alternatives on the market that will give you the same look and that have similar shades. So I wouldn't break the bank for the eyeshadow palette, but I do think the face palette is worth the price. It's $52 and you get 2 highlight shades that are almost full size, and Becca's full size pressed highlighters are $38. So you're getting 2 in here, plus you're getting 3 of their mineral blushes. I think 1 is a luminous blush and 2 mineral blushes. So you're getting 3 blushes and 2 highlighters for $52. It's a beautiful palette. It's great packaging. The mirror is sublime as well. I think overall the face palette is definitely worth checking out. And the Prosecco Pop, that is the new highlight shade from the palette, is definitely great on darker skin tone. And I think if you mix the Champagne Pop, even if you already have Champagne Pop or you didn't like Champagne Pop, mixing them together can give you a very beautiful glow on the skin. I actually really like the glow that I'm getting from this. It's not too intense like, hey, here I am, come get me, unless you apply it that way, which I don't. I am all about the subtle, and this is definitely a beautiful highlight that I would wear daily. I do really enjoy this. But just beware that when you go in the sun, you're going to see a little bit of sparkly reflections because it does have like sparkly, shimmery particles in it. And if you're looking for even more subtle versions of Champagne Pop, the poured version, which is a cream version, is definitely much more subtle and better suited for darker skin tone. And so is the liquid version. The liquid version is almost like non-existent on the skin. It gives this very light, lit from within glow rather than, hey, do you see me? Yes. No, it's just a very subtle glow. So if that's what you're into, these products you should check out. I don't say run out and get them. Definitely try to check them out in store to see if they're up your alley. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As usual, I'll leave a full list of the products used down below in the description box, as well as links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook page, where you definitely should be following me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye. Why not? What's going on? Aren't we friends?